Pokémon Sword and Pokémon Shield are two video games part of the 9th generation of Pokémon and were released in 2019 for the Nintendo Switch. The games follow a classic Pokémon storyline and feature standard mechanics, with a few twists to keep things fresh. The action takes place in Galar, a faithful recreation of modern England in the Pokémon world. You start your adventure as the protagonist in the usual rural village where you meet your rival, Hop. His brother, Leon, happens to be the current master of the Pokémon League and kindly offers you a starter Pokémon, with the usual 3 primary types being represented. A fire-type soccer player who shoots enemies with fireballs and casually insults referees. Lawrence from Fire Emblem Three Houses, able to send a focused stream of water at Mach 3 from his fingertips. For reference, that is fast enough to drill a hole in any living being, yet nobody seems even remotely concerned about it. And Monkey. After selecting your starter Pokémon, Hop will of course pick the one you're strong against, because this is a modern Pokémon game and we wouldn't want you accidentally losing a battle. You then go off on the usual Pokémon journey, battling gyms, catching Pokémons, beating down other trainers and taking their money, and saving the world in the process. Speaking of Pokémon, Galar features a lot of very cool Pokémons, including Toxic Rockstar, Bug put under a magnifier, Capitalism, Aaron from Attack on Titan, England is my society, and the creepy evolution of an already creepy Pokémon that nobody wanted. Also, Mr. Rhyme's belly looks like a face, now you can't unsee it. Gen 9 is also the one featuring the most food-related Pokémons, which isn't a very useful fact, but seems to indicate that at least one person at Nintendo has a weird fetish. On top of all the new creatures, Sword and Shield also introduced a new battle concept, Dynamax. The idea being that, in some places, there is a special kind of energy that allows Pokémons to turn into a giant version of themselves. Some specific Pokémons also feature a special Dynamax form, called Gigantamax, which heavily modifies their appearance. Or not. Each gym battle now culminates with the gym leader using a Gigantamax Pokémon, ensuring that you can get your daily dose of blockbuster monster battles. Another new game mechanic introduced in Sword and Shield is the Wild Area, an open-world-ish zone where you can move freely and capture different types of Pokémon until you suddenly get hunted by a level 50 Steelix that popped right next to you. After defeating the first 3 gyms dedicated to each primary types, the world opens up and you can explore the wild area further, unlocking more Pokémons. The wild area also features raids, an opportunity to battle a Dynamaxed Pokémon with up to 3 other players to earn amazing rewards. That is probably a fun thing to play unless you don't have any friends, in which case you will be stuck watching the raid Pokémon absolutely annihilating the shitty Pokémons the AI puts in your team. Please Nintendo, stop putting Togepi and fucking Magikarps in my raids. During your travels, you will meet 2 other recurring trainers that act as secondary rivals, B-Day, an insufferable jerk, and Marnie, a goth who's helped by the local hooligans called Team Yell. And now, onwards to the end of the story, where you have defeated all gyms and take part in the final tournament, where you obviously end up crushing the dreams of all your rivals. But right before the final battle against Leon, some guy interrupts you by releasing Eternatus, an evil legendary Pokémon, which in turn awakens the guardians of Galar, Zacian, and Zamenta. You battle with them and save the world. You can then finally move on to the final battle against Leon, and I must say that Leon possesses absolute chat energy. Look at him, he has a freaking cape, for Arceus's sake. He even starts the battle with a Sword and Shield Pokémon, proving that he was the main character this whole time. But after a rather challenging battle, you of course defeat him and become the new master of the Pokémon League, which is probably illegal considering you're like 10. You then move on to the post-game, where you can catch your local legendary Pokémon, but only after following an unnecessarily long storyline featuring the most extravagant haircuts ever seen in a Pokémon game. Hop also receives the counterpart to your legendary Pokémon, and you have one last battle, during which you destroy him and crush any chance he had of ever winning anything. After you destroyed Hop's hopes, he decides to quit battling and starts a career as a Pokémon professor. That's how violent you are. Of course, everyone else gets a happy ending, with B-Day becoming the new Fairy-type champion and Marnie taking over the Dark-type gym from her brother. I would like to add that every rival theme is an absolute banger. The story of Pokémon Sword and Shield continues in the 2 DLCs released for the game. The first one is the Isle of Armor, introducing a new island with new Pokémons to catch, a storyline centered around a dojo, and a new outrageous, over-the-top rival. You also get the opportunity to find 150 Digletts hidden throughout the island, because that's fun. My rating for this DLC, 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. The second DLC is the Crown Tundra, introducing many new legendary Pokémons, a storyline about Calyrex, the king of bountiful harvests, and a new raid feature that lets you catch legendary Pokémons. At the beginning of the DLC, you meet Peony, who suspiciously looks like the guy who tried to end the world. He also sends you on various adventures to gather legendary Pokémons, which are definitely not safe for a 10-year-old. I am pretty sure Peony is actively trying to get you killed. Following the success of Pokémon Sword and Shield, a new title has been announced, called Pokmon Gun. It will focus on the story of Inteleon during the Galarian Civil War and how he deals with his PTSD in the modern world.